Hey guys, um, it's another video. I'm going to make this super short. I just wanted to share an experience that I had and thought maybe you'd like to share some of your experiences with me in the comments. So it was kind of funny. Actually, to me, it was very funny, but I didn't catch what was going on right away. I didn't really figure it out until I left the office. So I was working today. I had to, well, actually, yesterday. And I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and take one of my guys to an appointment to have a procedure. So we had to be about an hour away from where we live. And he's had a few procedures, and so is my husband. They have the same doctors, and so do two of his friends. They have the same doctors. And so we went to the cardiovascular specialist, and whenever one of my guys has to have a procedure, I try and make it on a day that I know a particular nurse is there. Her name is Liz, and we've known her for years. And so it was 5:30 in the morning, and we got there at 5:20 actually. And I went to go look at, by 5:30 nobody came out to see us. So I went back to where the area is where they do the procedures, and yelling hello, and of course someone yells hello back, and after about a minute out walks Liz, the nurse, who I've known, gosh, I've known her for at least 3 years. So I just saw her like a month and a half ago. So we're only talking about like 6 weeks ago, not really very long. And I'm standing there, and she's coming down the hall, and she says, "Hi." And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she says, "Okay." And she says, "Your name?" And I'm looking at her, and I'm thinking, what the hell do you mean my name? You see me all the time. You call me by my name all the time. You know my husband. You know my guys that I take care of. And I said, "Brenda." And she's still looking at me. And I'm, "Brenda Morales." And she's still walking towards me, and she's looking at me, and she smiles, and she says, "Hi." And I said, "Hi." And so we walk. She has me follow her, and we're doing some paperwork. And anyway, so I'm signing some paperwork and doing what I have to. And I'm I'm just, going through the usual routine, and making sure my guy is okay. And um she takes him back and basically done, although I'm thinking to myself, there's usually some questions or some more paperwork than that. I don't think we're done. So, but I didn't say anything. And my husband is sitting in the truck because he didn't want me to drive in the dark alone. And so he's sitting in the truck, and Liz takes my person back, and I said my goodbyes and everything. And so I'm back out in the lobby, and they have a one of those coffee makers with the pods, the individual pods, so you make your own cup of coffee. And so I'm like, I got an hour to drive home. I'm running on fumes because I only slept for an hour during the night because I didn't even go to bed until about an hour before I had to get up. And the night before, I was up super late and I didn't go to bed until about 4 in the morning and was back up at 6. So about 3 hours in 2 days of sleep. So I'm running on fumes now, and I'm thinking I gotta drive back. I better drink some coffee because I'm gonna need that caffeine. And I'm not a coffee drinker, and I swear that I'm not a coffee drinker. But ever since I started this medication, the Zepbound, I'm becoming a part-time coffee drinker. I don't have coffee every day, and if I do, it's generally a half a cup to 1 cup, but I don't ever have more than 1 cup because I don't even like the taste of coffee. I'm literally just drinking for the medicinal purposes of caffeine to keep me awake. So I made the coffee because I need to be awake behind the wheel driving home. And so she comes running out to the lobby yelling, Brenda. And I said, yeah. And she's laughing because I'm standing there making a cup of coffee for myself and a cup of coffee for my husband. And sure enough, she's got more paperwork for me to sign. She's like, oh, I'm so glad that you didn't leave. And I said, yeah, I got to get home and be awake while I'm behind the wheel. So I thought I'd make some coffee. And I'm signing the rest of the paperwork. And she says, you've lost a little bit of weight, haven't you? I just smiled while I'm signing the paperwork. I said, yeah, a little bit. And she's looking at me, and I see it from the corner of my eye, and I said, 86 pounds. And she said, mm-hmm. And then she took back the paperwork and then proceeded to complain about how things have changed at the office, and they really have, and not necessarily for the better, and how she's thinking about this might be the end of the year, might be her last time spent working for this particular doctor. And so I hugged her and I told her, I'm so grateful for all you've done for all of us, and thanked her for, always taking such good care of my guys and my husband, and for all that she's done. And she really appreciated that and thanked me and said, you just made my day a lot better. And, that it was the truth. She's a phenomenal nurse, really, really phenomenal. And so we said our goodbyes, and she said, I'll call you, when it's time to pick him up. I'll call you about an hour before. And I said, great. And I'm walking out, and I go into the truck, and my husband proceeds to tell me that opening Google TV. Whoops, the TV's going off. Oh, okay, maybe it's stopping. So sorry. And he says, she called here, she looking for you, and thinking that we left. And I told her you're still in the lobby. And I'm trying to figure out what the heck he's talking about, because he talks to me like mid-thought, and I don't know what he's thinking or where it's coming from. And it took me a minute. Oh, what just happened with the whole she came out after looking for me and that kind of thing. And I'm laughing, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm driving home, what was it like? How did she not recognize me? Did she not know who I was? How could she not know who I was? She's seen me for 3 years, and she just saw me, like I said, like 6 weeks ago. And I've been to her at least 3 times since I started these GLP-1s. And I'm thinking, and I'm like kind of talking it out a little bit with my husband. He says, she didn't recognize you. thinking, oh my God, she didn't recognize me. That's what it was. It was the weight loss. She didn't recognize me, and I didn't put two and two together, even when she said, you lost a little weight, didn't you? And it was just bizarre to me because I didn't lose 86 pounds in the last 6 weeks. So it was just funny. I've started, I was thinking back to the live stream with Dee Dee, and it was a few months ago, I think, and she was talking about when you lose weight, how people react to you, and she mentioned something about them not recognizing you or seeing you for the first time since your weight loss, and I said, I wrote in something during the live stream that nobody's noticed that I've lost weight. And she said, oh, they've noticed. They just haven't said anything. And it was so, I was thinking back to that. It was so funny because the next day I was crossing the street and my neighbor called me over saying hi, which is typical. And I sat down with her because she was sitting outside on the front porch. And she said, you've lost a lot of weight. And I said, you can see? You can tell? And she's like, yeah, I could tell. So anyway, there's not really any special ending to this, just a funny experience. I just thought I would share, and I thought maybe you could share with me in the comments if you've had any kind of funny type of recognition or lack thereof since you've lost weight, what your experience was, what your experiences are. So, stay in contact with me, write in the comments, because I really enjoy reading the comments, and I really enjoy, you know, sending messages back and forth. I feel like I'm talking to you guys, and I read everything, and I do appreciate everything. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. I hope you are enjoying your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.